Hello, this is Dr. Webb, and this recording is for our course CIT, um, let's see what it said, 105, Intro to Computers. Um, as you know, class for this week has been canceled. Therefore, I need you to work on these assignments at home. I put together this little tutorial to help you so that you'll be able to complete the assignments. Rather than, this will be the same material that we would have covered during class. First, if you would, let's go to TIA Chapter 9, um, do. Of course, as you know, you have to still do the learn portion in order to get a good understanding of the material that you'll need to know in order to complete these assignments. So no way is this to replace the what you're normally going to have to do anyway. Okay. The one thing as far as for this particular lab, first is the password lab. I want to bring your attention to this the first link right here so we can kind of go over a little bit about how to safeguard your passwords. Some of the key elements I want you to remember when selecting a password. Mm, okay, from this screen, some of the key things to remember is these are just at the top of the list. These are things that you don't want to use when creating your passwords. All right, these are some real common mistakes people use, such as they'll use their partner, child, or pet's name, followed by a 0 or 1 as the password, or they'll use the last 4 digits Social Security number, or they'll use 123 or 1234, the combinations of like that, or they'll use the word password. Again, these listed some of the common mistakes people use as far as when they're creating their passwords. Don't do that. It's just too easy to crack. Um, Now, what you should be using as far as it's good ways of good tips are listed here. Randomly substitute numbers for letters that look similar. The letter 0 becomes the number, no, the letter O becomes the number 0, or even better yet, the @ sign. You use that in place of, or an asterisk in place of the letters A or just some other substitute letter. Again, this lists all the different things you want to take in consideration as far as how to create a good, strong password. Okay? All right. Now, with that completed, let's go back to the assignment. Um, the first thing we're going to do for this assignment, let's see. Okay, here's the assignment. Complete the following labs and then follow the submission directions below. Okay, passwords are kept a part of securing your computer, your information, and your privacy. Creating and remembering good passwords is essential. During this lab, you'll learn about good passwords. Test your computer password and create a new password. Let's get started. First, like I said, you need to read these articles that are listed here, with the hyperlinks, and they'll give you a good overview as far as password protection, password creation, and the need for strong passwords. Then choose one of the passwords that you currently use and test it using this password meter. Don't worry, it's not going to be transmitted over the internet. It's just so you can see what your current password is. And I highly recommend you do that just to see how strong your password is. And then you're going to see if you can, even if your current password is very strong, I want you to know that you can make a good one. So design a new password that receives at least a score of 80% or better. Remember to follow the guidelines from the article. Okay. Now, after completing this, that little lab, you need to answer the following questions. Okay. So you'll put those in after completing the above lab, then click on the assignment title. Answer the following questions in the assignment area. Do not upload a file this time, okay? Now answer, and you'll just answer these questions. How strong is your current password that you tested? Give the percentage score. You should not include your password in your homework submission. Not looking for that password. not your real password. List at least 2 of the reasons that your current password was good and 2 reasons that it is bad. Tell me the new password you came up with and tell how you'll remember it, as far as what's the uh, meaning behind that password, how you're going to be able to remember it. And be sure to use a good one based on the articles that you've read. There's no partial credit for passwords that violate the requirements from these articles. I'm not asking for your current password. I'm only asking for one that you make up. Okay, it's not a trick question. So let's do that real quick. First, we'll go to the password meter. Click on there. The meter comes up. Test your password. We'll put in the password. We'll say, suppose you were one of those that put in the password of your dog. And you might have said your dog's name is Fido. Fido. Rather than hiding it, we're going to go ahead and let you see it. So it's Fido, Fido. And as you can see, as it comes up, it'll tell you the score for that is 20, only meets 26%. It's a very weak password. And down here, it gives you a score also as far as ways of making a stronger password. Okay, so Fido is the first one. Now, instead, I'm going to create a very strong password. And this password will say, suppose Ramstein, Germany is my favorite was a Ramstein. Okay, so instead of typing the word Ramstein, I'm doing a mix. So it'll be R. Then instead of using the letter A, I use the @ sign A. Okay, Ram M, small m, capital S. Kind of mix it up a little bit. T. And then instead of I, I'm gonna use the number 1. For the E, let's see. I'll use the number 3, and then the letter N. I'm gonna capitalize N. Okay. So as you can see, the password I came up with is Ramstein, but look at how it's spelled. R, the @ sign, M, capital S, T, instead of I, the number 1, instead of the letter E, the number 3, and then N. Now, what I could also do to make it just to add one more point on there to make it even stronger is I can do the exclamation point on the end of it. Okay, Ramstein with an exclamation point. And as you can see, the score for that is a 96%. Okay, now that's all there is to this exercise. Ramstein, my new password. Okay, now as you can see, we did the password generator just as we were supposed to, and the requirement was a score at least an 80%. We got a 96%, which is very good. And okay, now, and to answer the questions, how strong is your current password that you tested? Remember the current one, the initial one was Fido, and I only got a 26% on that. Okay, you should not include your password in the assignment. So therefore, I would not have put the word Fido on there, which was my current password. Instead, I just put the 26%. Next, list at least 2 of the reasons that your current password was good and 2 reasons that it is bad. Okay, my current password, it was good. 2 reasons. 1, it was easy for me to remember, Fido. And no, well, those are the reasons why it's bad. There's the reason why it was good. Okay, it had uppercase and lowercase. It had 1 uppercase. Everything else was lowercase. Another reason why it was good. Let's see. It was at least 8 characters in length. Okay, so those are 2 reasons why it was good. It met those conditions as far as being good. Now, reasons why it was bad. 1, it was a word, an actual word, that you could find in the dictionary, Fido. That's one reason why it's bad. Another reason why it was bad is it did not have enough numerical characters, special symbols, those types of things to strengthen it. So those are two reasons why it's bad. Question number 3. Tell me the new password you came up with and tell me how you remember it. Well, the one we came up with, if you recall, it was Ramstein. And the reason why I'll remember that is I was stationed in Ramstein, Germany. And so that's how I'll be able to remember it. Make sure that you, one is based on articles you've read. Based on the articles we've read, again, they talked about how to make it strong. We made it very strong. And again, with it, the score we ended up with on that was a 96%. All right. So that concludes the password lab assignment. The next thing you're going to be required to do is to do the quiz. Feel free to use whatever materials you need. Use it covers Chapter 9 from the Teaching in Action, but feel free to use the internet as well if you need to. But again, if you use whatever sources you use, I highly recommend you cite your sources, especially if you're going outside the content of that book, because you don't want to be noted for plagiarism. Again, nothing wrong with using external sources, just so long as you cite the source. Okay? All right. That concludes this assignment, and this is the password assignment for the TIA Chapter 9. This is Dr. Webb, out.